Call to order the regular business meeting of the Lakewood City Council on August 26, 2024 at 7:11 p.m. To connect to the council meeting, please use one of the following links at lakewoodspeaks.org or lakewood.org/council videos. For online public comments, whether you're in the room or watching us remotely, you may post comments of any length at lakewoodspeaks.org, which is our online forum for public comments. We are leaving online public comments open during the council meeting and through tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Anyone who would like to address the city will be given the opportunity during general public comment with a limit of 3 minutes, and likewise, well, 2 other times this evening, first with the consent agenda and then our second reading ordinance. Will the clerk please start us off by calling the roll?
Strom.
Here.
Councilor Olver is absent. Mayock Guerrero.
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
Ryan.
Yes.
Sharzai.
Here.
LeBure.
Here.
Nystrom.
Here.
Lowe.
Here.
Cruz.
Here.
And Six.
Here.
Mayor Strom, you have a quorum.
Thank you. If you are able to stand, please do so for the Pledge of Allegiance, and afterwards remain standing for a moment of silent prayer. All members of the City Council have the responsibility to comply with the terms of Charter 7.2 Prince B and excuse themselves from voting on any matter in which they determine they have a personal, financial, or business interest. The City Council is empowered by Charter 7.2 Prince B to agree by unanimous vote, excluding the member at issue, to excuse any member of the council from voting on a matter in which they determine such member has a personal, financial, or business interest. All right, and first up this evening we have our consent agenda. Before we have the clerk read the consent agenda into the record, any counselors wish to pull any items off the consent agenda this evening? All right. Will the clerk please read the full consent agenda as is into the record?
Thank you, Mayor. The consent agenda includes the following items. Item 5, Resolution 2024-40, amending certain alcohol beverage fees for the City of Lakewood. Item 6, Resolution 2024-41, approving an intergovernmental agreement to establish a consortium to access and allocate funds from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Home Investment Partnership Program. Item 7, Resolution 2024-42, approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Colorado Department of Transportation to divide and delineate operation and maintenance responsibilities for the 12th and Wadsworth Water Quality Pond and associated permanent water quality facilities. Item 8, Resolution 2024-43, approving an intergovernmental agreement with Urban Drainage and Flood Control District, DBA Mile High Flood District, regarding final design services for drainage and flood control improvements in Dry Gulch from Vance Street to Teller Street and sidewalk improvements on West 10th Avenue from Wadsworth Boulevard to Salisbury Street. Item 9, Resolution 2024-44, approving an intergovernmental agreement with Urban Drainage and Flood Control District, DBA Mile High Flood District, to update the City of Lakewood storm drainage and technical criteria manual. Item 10, Resolution 2024-45, authorizing the purchase of real property for park purposes, including acceptance of a deed therefor. Item 11, Ordinance O-2024-21, an ordinance amending Ordinance 2023-39 regarding the acceptance of the devolution of certain property from the Colorado Department of Transportation to the City of Lakewood and approving intergovernmental agreement thereto to correct the legal description. Item 12, Ordinance O-2024-22, amending Chapter 14.02 of Title 14 of the Lakewood Municipal Code to allow sleeping units that are part of a city-approved transitional housing program to be considered temporary shelters that are exempt from strict compliance with the requirements of the International Building Code. Item 13, approving minutes of the City Council meetings from the City Council regular meeting of July 22nd, 2024. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I have no one signed up to speak this evening on the consent agenda items here, but I'll just open up the floor for a minute if anyone has any that they would like to still add to the evening. Anyone wish to speak on consent agenda? All right, we'll go ahead and close public comment on the consent agenda. May I have a motion?
Mayor Strom, I move for the approval of the City Council minutes, order all ordinances introduced on first reading to be published in the Denver Post with public hearing set for September 9, 2024, and for adoption of resolutions, all of which are included on the consent agenda items introduced into the record by the City Clerk.
Second.
All right, a motion has been made and seconded. I have one hand up to speak, Councilor Matt Guerrero.
I just had a small question, wanting to check my assumptions on item 6, which is referencing the intergovernmental agreement around federal housing dollars and the consortium with Jefferson County and Lakewood and adding Arvada. And I wanted to clarify, of course, that essentially we are updating this in order to be able to maximize dollars as with a larger team and to increase our geographic flexibility. And I wanted to ensure that that was the case.
Yes, that is the case.
Great, thank you so much. I imagined based on the reference materials that it was so. I wanted to confirm on the record. Thank you.
All right, do we have any other wishing to speak? So we have a motion on the floor. Second, we're ready to vote. Yes vote, obviously passing the consent agenda. All right, and that passes 10 yeas, 0 nays. Will the clerk please read item 14 into the record?
Item 14, second reading and public hearing on ordinance O-2024-20, amending chapter 14.06 of Title 14 of the Lakewood Municipal Code and adopting by reference the 2023 National Electric Code as adopted by the state of Colorado by and through the State Electrical Board.
Thank you, and I will now open the public hearing on item 14. I have no one signed up here to speak this evening on item 14. Do we have anyone else or anyone that would like to speak on adopting the new National Electrical Code? Ms. Reddick, you want to speak on this topic?
I just want to know if when you're speaking about the electrical code, is it,
If you want to speak, why don't you go ahead and come up front? Okay, if you'll go ahead and state your name and address or name and ward, we'll get your time started.
my ward is Ward 3, and I am Connie Reddick. The question I'm asking about the electrical, my understanding, is this have to do with coding in apartment buildings or in houses? Is that the electrical code, or explain the electrical code to me, please?
Okay, so this is public comment. I'll go ahead and do my explanation that I was going to do this
Okay.
evening for
So
general.
if
This
it's
is
anything
we're here to listen to
Okay.
you.
if it has anything to do with electrical code, it's a very big safety issue because I have that code where my refrigerator, nothing works because of electrical wiring inside the walls have not been repaired. And I'm really concerned that because water has come in through the glass into the walls, that it's going to affect the electrical and put all the seniors in danger. So that's why we had such a big concern, because our whole building, they had to replace the windows and the water went in, and there is a lot of problems with a lot of the electrical, like the elevators, the doors, and that's what my concern was about the electrical. So hopefully it's on the same line, but I just wanted to make it clear it's a safety hazard, especially for us seniors, because it puts us in a place where we could be harmed. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And with that, we'll open it up to comments, questions from counselors. Do we have anyone that wishes to speak on this issue? May I have a motion, please?
Mayor, I moved for the adoption of ordinance O-2024-20 on second and final reading.
Second.
All right, before we vote, anyone wishing to speak or amend? All right, easy crew. With that, we'll go ahead and start voting. And that passes 10 yeas, 0 nays. Okay, and that brings us to the point in the meeting where the public is invited to address the City Council on items that did not appear on the agenda. The goal of public comment is to create an environment that welcomes all stakeholders to share their thoughts and concerns. The purpose of this time is for us to hear from you. This is a listen-only session. If you'd like to engage a conversation with your counselors, with staff, or myself, you may do that via phone, email, or scheduling in-person meetings. For anyone attending virtually, you may leave comments. Actually, anyone attending virtually or who is here in the room that wants to leave a comment, your comment put into lakewoodspeaks.org goes verbatim into the public record. So if you're here and feeling not comfortable to get up and talk to somebody or talk to all of us, you can actually go ahead and enter that from your seat where you are as well. For in-person comment, I will ask that all comments be directed to the City Council and that anyone here in council chambers will observe decorum of council chambers and refrain from applause or audible support or discord of the speaker or of council. Again, we want to make sure that we're creating an environment that is welcome to hearing every voice that shows up in this room. If you have any handouts for council, please provide them directly to our city clerk over here, and they will be distributed to council following this evening's meeting. I will now call the names signed up to speak for public comment. If you've not signed up to speak, you can also please see our deputy city clerk here, and she will get you signed in to join in on public comment this evening. So we'll get started, and for those that this may be a first time or it's been a while since you've been up here, once we call your name, you'll be asked to come up here to the front. 3 minutes will be your time. Ask that you please state your name and your address or your name and your ward, and then we'll get your time started. First up this evening, we have Mr. James Mace.
Give me 1.2 seconds, Mayor, please. Good evening. I am here tonight, again, to let you guys know that I have been pulled over by Lakewood again, and I'm tired of it. This is like the 15th time in the last 6 months, and I am really getting frustrated. So this council needs to do something, or I'm going to step in and I'm going to do something, okay? Because I'm tired of getting pulled over. You guys are putting my safety and Connie Reddick's safety in jeopardy. I am so tired of this. It is disgusting. And most of you don't even ride public transportation. Put yourselves in my shoes for a day, okay? Ride public transportation. You'll understand why I say our crime rate has gone up. Mayor, I don't know if you got the email that I sent you a couple weeks ago, but yeah, I stepped away from Lakewood for a while. Bottom line is, Mr. Mace is frustrated with you guys, and I'm not playing anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mace. Mr. Clifford.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and Council. My name is Fred Clifford, and I live in Ward 1. I sometimes forget to say that. And by the way, before I say anything else, I'm speaking on my own behalf, not Lakewood Advisory Commission or anything like that. There's a lot of people who agree with me, a lot of people who don't. I want to start out by, during the time President Washington was putting together his cabinet, James Madison went to go visit Thomas Jefferson. And obviously they didn't have email and smartphones or even phones. So when you wanted to talk to somebody, you sent somebody on an errand. So Washington wanted Jefferson to be the Secretary of State. And while James Madison was visiting Jefferson, they got into a conversation. And forgive me, but I tried to double check this. I read this in a book a couple years ago, couldn't find the book. When you Google it, all you find is about letters. So it wasn't same topic was addressed in letters, but what I read about was the conversation. And what Jefferson said is that the earth belongs to the living. And then they talked about taxes. And he said that one generation should not be allowed to raise the taxes on future generations. And then they got into other subjects as well, but that's one I wanted to focus on. And I wasn't here 2 weeks ago, and I was going to say I was out of town, but I looked at my calendar, and I just got back. So I'd be lying if I said I was out of town. So in the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, in the language that's in the state constitution, there is a 4-year limit on exemptions. Now, that has been interpreted by courts, supposedly, that 4 years means forever. I'm a simple guy. I think that 4 years means 4 years. And I've actually heard Mr. Bruce say the reason it is in there is because it was similar to what Jefferson said. He didn't want one generation to raise taxes on the next generation. So I know it's too late to convince this body to protect the people from this intrusion, but I just wanted to make my voice heard that 4 years means 4 years, and I'm getting close to being out of town, but I was here several years ago. One person read on another completely separate issue. Some person read something from the state constitution, and what was being voted on that night was a clear violation of the state constitution. The city attorney got up and said, well, that's been interpreted, blah, blah, blah. So I don't like this interpretation business. We need to read what's written and stick to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clifford. Sandy Weathers. And after Sandy Weathers, we have Arnie Carter. Okay. And then Bradley Bruce.
Hi, my name is Sandy Weathers, and I live in Ward 3. I am going to try to not read a script this time and speak from the heart because I've been here a lot of times. I think I've spewed a lot of facts, a lot of heart-wrenching stories, and I just, want to be forward and honest with everyone. And the reason I'm here today is because I understand you guys met with Brittany Pedersen last week. Unfortunately, I found out through Facebook. So it was hard for me to learn that way because we've been here so many times and met with a lot of you individually. So I feel very disrespected because I feel that, we've invested so much and we didn't even get a courtesy like, hey, we talked to her, she didn't budge, which I get. The good thing is, I'm glad you guys met with her because you got to see her talk in circles. I'm sure that's what she did because that's what she does every time. And she's not going to budge on this issue, which is why we're here again to ask you a renewed time to please pass a ceasefire resolution. We know that half of you support this. I want to speak directly with Mayor Strom right now. You could be the tiebreaker on this. We know the numbers, we know who supports this. And I want to ask you, as a PTA mom, a lot of the work that you and I do is for kids. That's why I'm here, because it breaks my heart to learn from the doctors that these kids are not just dying from bombs that we made. They're dying from gunshots to the head and to the chest. No child should ever die for whatever reason. There's no reason that anyone can come up with. So it breaks my heart that this is happening. It's why I keep on coming. I want to say also that today there was a protest outside of Congresswoman Pedersen's office. I didn't organize this one, which kind of was encouraging to me that it's like, okay, it's not just me and my friends. There's other groups out there that are organizing protests against Brittany as well. I remember the first one that I organized, I sent you a text and I said, I'm protesting Brittany. I'm not protesting you. But today I protested you because this has been 10 months and we have nothing. This council has nothing to show for itself when our ask is this big. So there's my sign. That's what I had outside today, this morning. I just want you to see it because this was hard for me. It is, because you know that I've always been on your side. So I just want you, please, to relate for a second, as a mom, that we don't kill kids. It's not okay for our government to do this, to fund these bombs, to keep on supporting Israel when they're committing these atrocities. I mean, please go back and look at the press release, the press conference that the doctors did recently. You'll get a lot of info. And I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Arnie Carter, and I'm in Ward 3. And to start with, I just want to let you know, Mayor, that I met my good friend Sandy. She came over and knocked on my house and tried to get me to vote for you. That's where I met her. We heard through the grapevine that when you spoke with Patterson, Brittany Patterson, that she said that she gets like briefings through the national the security people, right? And then she gets information that us common folks don't get. I just want to remind you guys that that organization, those are the same people that said in the Obama administration that a surge of troops would defeat the Taliban. Those are the same people that said invading Iraq was a good idea. The same people that said Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. Same people that said Vietnam, we should get involved in Vietnam. The same people that lied to the senators and didn't tell them that that war was unwinnable, cost millions of lives. Think about all these lies, all this deception, all this false information. How many lives does it cost? How many billions of dollars have been wasted? How much resource? Think about that. Look into your conscience. Use common sense. use humanity and do something. Call this for what it is, a genocide. Thank you.
Thank you. Bradley Bruce? And after Bradley Bruce, we have Aaron Brooks.
Hi, my name is Bradley Bruce. I'm a resident of Ward 2. I am once again here asking for the Lakewood City Council to pass a resolution condemning the use of American weapons on Palestinian civilians and infrastructure. Between October of last year and April 2024, which is over 4 months ago, it was estimated that Israel had dropped 70,000 tons of bombs on the Gaza Strip. This is more than the bombings of Dresden, Hamburg, and London combined during World War II. It is also more than the explosive force of both atomic weapons dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Over 40,000 people are confirmed to have been killed, and with the complete collapse of the Gazan health and administrative systems, we can only assume the actual death toll. This is not the actions of a country defending itself, but the one who is enacting a genocide upon a people that it has occupied for the last 76 years. The Biden administration and most of our elected officials are at best complicit, and in some cases fully supporting the genocide of the Palestinian people. My understanding is that some of the council members met with Representative Pedersen over the last week. I hope that meeting showed you that she is not willing to listen to our concerns on the subject of Palestine. She is not willing to make the right choice on her own volition. I do not expect this council to stop Israel's genocide. I have no expectation that passing a resolution will help the people of Palestine directly. But you are supposed to be our voice, especially in the times when the federal government is ignoring our pleas, especially when the federal government is approving tens of billions of dollars in aid transfers to Israel to blow up children. Are you really incapable of seeing how that money could be used to make the lives of Americans better? I will also add that it's no wonder no one is involved in local politics. We're not asking for a whole lot here, and when normal people look around and see that the fecklessness of their representatives, they just check out altogether. Please consider passing a resolution condemning the use of American weapons in Israel's genocide. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bruce.
Good evening. My name is Aaron Brooks. I live in Boulder. My son lives here in Lakewood in Ward 2, so I watch all meetings here, and if I'm not attending, I'm watching. So like I said, based on watching city council meetings both here where I attend or watch all of them, in Colorado as well as across the country, there seems to be a misunderstanding of how city council meetings actually work. So today, I thought I might offer comments to council on what I believe is your role as opposed to the role of the public. I attend or view most all meetings, as I mentioned, and based on this, I believe that there are some that think that coming back here over and over and making the same demands will somehow yield a different result. You were all duly elected by the voters of Lakewood to serve on this council. This means that you listen to constituents and you, I will repeat, you make the decisions. That's what you were elected to do. Anyone that is a resident of this community and a taxpayer of Lakewood can run for a seat on this council. And if they do win a seat, they can make these decisions. And they can also sit and listen to all of these other public comments that you all have to listen to, which again is everybody's right to do in this country. And this is a wonderful country that we get the right to do that. It's a shame that some people can't stand for that, the country that allows them the right to stand up and do this in front of all of you. It is not about who comes to the most meetings, makes the most noise, how many times they can gather a small group of 20 people in a city of 156,000 people. There's 156,000 people in this community, and there's only a few people that come to these meetings every single time and drive you people crazy. It's time to get back to the issues of this city, fix potholes, fix things that matter to these other 156,000 people, and stop listening to the 4 or 20 people that were outside the congressperson's office this morning, disrespectfully calling her names and doing what they continually do in this city. They block streets, they make it difficult for everybody around here, and they can say that's what protesting is about, and they have the right to do that, but at some point, it's enough already. And I'm here as a community member of all of these communities, and my son who just recently moved here, this isn't what he moved here for. And if this is what these folks want to continue to do, they can certainly do that, and it's their right to do that. So let's see here. Every single one of them has a right to run, so it's pretty clear that you are not the only council that feels that a city council or that a ceasefire resolution here in Colorado on an issue that is going on halfway around the world will do no good, and that's proven by the fact that no city council in this state has agreed to a city council resolution. With all of this noise, not one. I invite any of these people to run for city council, sit here, try to make these decisions that you're up here to make, but otherwise, let's get back to making the decisions that are best for this entire community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Rick Cresswell.
I live in Ward 5. I'm across the beautiful Foss Street from the beautiful Stonehouse Park, across the hill. And the reason it's important for me, to come to the city council about something that's happening around the world is our country is doing it. Our taxes are doing it. But the reason it's important to come here is because I've been everywhere else first. I can't go to Washington. But I've been with our Washington people. I've talked to them. I call them all the time. I email them. This is an everyday process. And they are captured. They are captured, and they will not speak to this. So, and I've been to the commission, the county commission on this, county commissioners. So for me, it's the last place. Where does an American go when they can't get through? You go to your local city council. And so that's my last place. It's not the first place I go, but it's the last place. I'm getting nowhere anywhere else. And tragedies are tragedies, even if they're on the side of the world. Now, I'm also concerned about all kinds of other things. I'm dealing with homeless people on South Wadsworth. But this is a major symbolic issue. If our government can't stop this, can't stop the killing because they want to keep sending money which should come here where we need it for housing. Heavenly days. We need housing. We need all this kind of stuff. And they're sending billions that could go there nicely and sending it to have people killed. That turns it into a local issue. That's money that could come here. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, we have pooled time, Mr. Hugo Weinberger and Elon Rezin.
Thank
Hello.
you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
This is Hugo. I'm Alon. We're the owners and managers of 1320, 1330 Zephyr Street. We're a family-owned business that was started in 1991. Over the last 10 years, we've produced a portfolio of apartments, mostly in West Denver and in Lakewood. We currently own more than 300 units in Lakewood, and multiple properties along the light rail station. We take pride in providing safe, clean, affordable housing, and we are committed community partners, striving to make a positive impact in the community we operate. More than a third of our tenants are on Section 8 housing vouchers. Our main focus today are the challenges of the transit population along Wadsworth Station specifically, that is affecting Zephyr Street and multiple properties along the light rail station. We purchased the Zephyr Apartments in 2016. We improved the property, investing in the units, the common area, and had a stable, quiet property that families enjoyed living in. In 2022, the City of Lakewood came and took part of the property via eminent domain to create a larger public walkway and bike path, and they took valuable parking from our residents. Since then, we've had ongoing issues with the transit population along the light rail that was once a valuable amenity to our tenants. Here's our property highlighted in green. The Wadsworth Station is one block to the east of the picture. Highlighted in yellow is the section that was eminent domain from us, from our property. Here is the southwest corner of our property. Looking to the east, the light rail station is 2 blocks past our property, and this shows the area that was eminent domain.
I'm going to just talk about some of the safety concerns and issues that we have. Since the property was taken, this larger walkway sits behind a chain link fence from our property, and our tenants no longer feel safe. This was a place that was a nice area. The street dead ends there, and so nice public space, and it's now drugs and illegal activity. This isn't watching people smoking weed. This is watching people doing hard drugs and bad things all day, every day. People don't want their kids to use the bike path. Tenants don't feel comfortable going and using the public transportation and light rail. What was once an amenity is now a nuisance. We have constant trespassing and public intoxication. So we have people that come onto our side and they come on people's balconies, they break into our property and common area. We've had theft of our property, of our tenants' property and vehicles. We have people using the bathroom, not in locations other than the back room, doing Schedule I drugs and doing other things that nobody wants to see all day, every day at their apartment. It's a health and safety concern. They're creating trash constantly, so the trash gets in between this fence and is littered onto our property. So we have to go pick up needles and spend time and money to make a safe place for our tenants and our community, which is our goal as a landlord. I'm going to come back to this. The unauthorized vehicle access, we have limited parking spaces in our property, and now people literally come and park illegally at our property to sell drugs at this location. The conduct is, we have like cars that are left and abandoned there. We do have the police involved, and they've come and made some arrests and done some things, but they really, if you talk to the police, their hands are tied, and they tell people to kind of move along, and people are back shortly thereafter. People continue to enter our property. The criminal activity and drug use is consistent. And I mean, these are pictures of, this is a guy on our property passed out. I mean, literally needs help. This is just showing from a car the quantity of people that gather here. Some of these are videos that should play, but you guys get the idea. I mean, there is a constant stream of people here, and as landlords on the other side of the fence, there's only so much that we can do. We've called the police 100 times in the last year, more than I think 45 times since April. You can't see these police reports, but there's all the things happening at the property. Fireworks, drugs, breaking and entering, theft. As a property owner, we think we have a responsibility, and our tenants have a responsibility to the public space. They need to take care of the public space. They shouldn't endanger the life of people around the area. They shouldn't conduct property damage or destruction, or shouldn't materially harm or threaten people or property's health, safety, and welfare. And this happens every single day to the tenants at our property from the people who are right there on the other side of the fence. And we feel like the city has a responsibility to uphold the same standards that we would want to uphold as a landlord on our private property, on your private property. And it's just not being done today. We want to be a good neighbor. We want to help out. But there's a situation right now where we can't go and arrest people on the other side of the fence. Like, we could play, Hanson Mbop, and we've put up bigger lights. They just have a nighttime party now. We are, as a landlord, spending time and money. We've installed lighting, cameras. We've hired security that comes. We constantly contact you guys. I believe this is my first time speaking with you guys. I believe this is Alon's third time. We've reached out to RTD. We actually have a meeting set up with RTD. But we have a request for action. We want to be able to use our walking and bike path and our public transportation. And it shouldn't be a place that people can do illegal activities, camp, and have vagrancy. It makes it difficult for people to ride their bikes around town, to go and use mass transit. And so how do we move people in a safe and respectful way The Action Center is a quarter of a mile from our property. That's the fifth one. But involving the Action Center and getting these people real help. Installation of signs that just say no loitering, camping, or noise violations. Maybe creating a quiet hours where after certain times people can't congregate in these areas. We would ask the city, it's your fence, not our fence, to just install a cover or barrier like you'd have at a construction site so people don't have to watch people doing bad things all day, every day with their families and their kids. I think an increased police and security presence, and we're in Ward 2. I know that we've messaged, and I know there's things happening on your guys' side. You know, we want to be a team player. We'll donate our time and effort to help. We'll donate our money. We want to make this a place that people want to live and stay, be with their families. We have Section 8 people who do not want to live at our property and are moving out. We have higher vacancy and turnover costs. We're being put out of business by the issue going on across the street, and our business is to help and provide affordable housing. So we need action. I feel like he's come 3 times and the situation has gotten worse. And so I don't know what we need to do. I don't know what has to happen. I know this is not just in this area of the city, it's in a lot of areas of the city, but in these areas that are specifically right by where mass transit is, that people should be using to take to work, should be a predominant focus of the city, of what we can do and what we can help. And as city council, it's great to have ideas and meetings, but we need action to solve the problems and issues in front of us. So thank you. I appreciate you taking the time. We have tons of pictures and all kinds of really terrible stuff. I don't think the videos are playing, but at the end of the day, I think you guys get the idea. You don't need to see the pictures and videos we have, but they are everything. And it's sad to see it happen to the community in the area.
And we'd like to invite you out to the meeting with RTD. If you would like to attend, please let us know. That's happening.
We're meeting the Deputy Chief, Stephen, his name, of RTD September 9th at 10 a.m. And so we welcome anybody to come and see the issue and what's going on there, and talk about solutions and problems that we can take as private and public partners to help the issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Connie Reddick, and then Don Austin.
I am Connie Reddick from Ward 3, and Mayor, I also have a request for action. We have commissioners that you elected, and they're over Metro West, and I want you to do an investigation of Metro West Solution because it's putting the elderly at risk. It's not only me, but it's several seniors that are at risk in this apartment building from not having our elevators in the front when we come into the building, hitting us, the doors hitting us, the door's not working, the elevator's not working. In back of the building, we have a electrical unit that blows out black smoke that is known to be cancerous. And so they're not following regulatory laws of HUD Federal Agency. And also what's going on is that you have people that, for example, myself, with a refrigerator that doesn't work. I'm a diabetic and I cannot my medicine. There's nowhere to keep it, and the point is there are several things that they're not following by the law, and it's affecting all of our house. We're elderly people. We can't live without our medicine. We can't. We're frail. When the elevator doors hit us, or we can't get into the building, and outside the lighting is dark, and they have several security electrical posts in the building that's supposed to give us security and watch us, but that is broken also. So when we're coming in from the outside and it's totally dark because the lights aren't working and the doors aren't opening when we're trying to get in, it's a safety issue. Anybody could come and harm us because there are so many, like this man talking back, it's unsafe. There's so many drugs on the street. And not only that, when you have all the people that park at the bottom in the garage and you have asbestos, and there isn't the right ventilation in there, and all of us have to start up our cars all at one time so that they could do cleanup, which they didn't do, and you have alarms, and the whole neighborhood is complaining because there's so much noise, but we still have the ventilation problems. There are a lot of issues in the building where things weren't done right, and an investigation needs to be done because you elected to be the commissioner, over the commissioners.
Your time
and I
is up,
want
Ms.
you to
Reddick.
please do an investigation, and I'd like to get together with you so
Ms.
I can
Reddick,
write
I'm
everything
sorry, your
up.
time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dawn Austin.
Good evening, Council. My name is Dawn Austin. I'm in Ward 3. I'm here, like so many people today, to talk about public safety in Lakewood. I understand, unlike some other people here, that you have no foreign policy role. So I want to focus today on public safety in Lakewood. So I want to start by thanking the police for making it inhospitable for people to drive through Lakewood with expired registrations. I don't think it is right for people to be stealing by not paying their fair share, and I do think it makes it more difficult for police. And this happens every single day. So I want you as council to support the police in their not only handing out violations for this, but also publicizing that Lakewood is not hospitable for that behavior. Second thing is I need you to support Neighborhood Watch. There's a new person that has now been designated as Neighborhood Watch. So far, the only thing that has happened is that they have put up new signs. The first activity was to have a meeting across the entire city of Lakewood with all of the ward captains from the various neighborhoods. That meeting was canceled due in part to budgetary restrictions. That doesn't make sense to me. My understanding is that the police department is fully staffed, so if they have to pay overtime to participate in Neighborhood Watch or come in late that day, something needs to happen so that, you know, we're not just talking about Neighborhood Watch, we're actually doing something. The last thing that I'm asking council to do is enforce section 101650 of the municipal code. This is called pedestrian obstruction in roadways. Every day I drive down Sheridan, and every day there are people in the road who are walking in between cars. They do happen to have squeegees and water bottles. I see some people reacting to this. And they are endangering not only themselves, but motorists. So I did reach out to my ward representative, who gave me a response that had to do with panhandling. This is not panhandling. This is public safety, and there's no need for there to be an injury or worse death before you enforce something that is already in the books. I have been told by various people that the reason this happens here and not in other parts of the metro area, because they have solved it, is because there's no ordinance in place. But the ordinance that needs to be enforced is 101650, pedestrian obstruction in the roadways. There is no excuse for not enforcing this and keeping all of us safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others wish to submit comments this evening? All right. That was our last signed up public comment. This evening do not have anything on general business, so with that, I will open it up to our executive report. We have our Deputy City Manager, Ben Goldstein, to deliver that this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one quick item to provide for council and the community's update. I wanted to let you all know, if you missed it, that there is a new sustainability report on the city's website, and this provides some valuable information about the efforts that have been happening. The easiest way to find the report is it's under the featured section on the city's website. If you just go to lakewood.org and then scroll down a little bit, you'll see it right there in the featured tab. I think that's it for the night.
All right. With that, we will open it up for ward reports, and this evening I was planning to start with Ward 5. Are we ready? Sure. Rumor has it we have a ward meeting coming up. I know that much.
That is a fact. We have a ward meeting coming up this Wednesday. And I think the notification went out a little bit late, but, we are, we are a go. Our future meetings are calendared as well. We will be having one on September 25th as well as October 23rd. And I just want to say that there are applications or the availability to apply for committee positions such as LAC that are in the works, and I would encourage people that want to get involved to apply for those committee positions. What else you want to add?
Thank you. I will not be at the ward meeting, unfortunately. I'm going to be at the Dr. Cog, the Denver Regional Council of Governments dinner that evening, but you'll be in good hands with my co-counselor. Also want to thank city staff for really engaging on the sustainability issue and adding some updates on the website. I've been told that we're going to have some updates as well on vehicle electrification, and Councilor Nystrom and I are really talking about, taking a look at our goals that we set out 10 years ago and really taking a look at setting new goals and new benchmarks, and that's something that we're looking at. We've had some opportunities to engage with staff a lot on, and we really appreciate all the support there. So, but just wanted to mention that. So we're having those discussions, and we hope to bring something at some point. So, thank you.
Ward 4.
So this is more of a comment. I wonder if the city might consider whether it makes sense to send a representative to that meeting we heard about with RTD, just to hear more about the concerns that were raised in the general public comment. And then also if maybe someone can check into whether the neighborhood watch meetings outreach will be rescheduled, and if it's something that city council needs to do to help the city with making sure that we have a robust program there, that be helpful if someone could report back on that. Other than that, we have a Ward 4 meeting on September 19th at the Green Mountain Rec Center at 7 o'clock, and hope to hear a lot of concerns and hopefully maybe some things that the city's doing right at our ward meeting. That's all.
Ward 3.
I'll keep it short. Councilor Stewart and I had a really encouraging, good discussion at our ward meeting this past weekend. Appreciated getting an update from Angie Ramirez with the city, who gave an update on Best of Lakewood and some of the work that they are doing. Some good information was disseminated. The only other thing I was going to just suggest, very modestly, is thank you for putting the sustainability report out. I wonder if we might at some point put it on also on lakewood.org/sustainability, just so that when folks access that page, it's easily accessible, and that'll be easy, at least for me, to remember. If I want to direct people to that, I can just tell them to go to lakewood.org/sustainability, and if it's sort of sitting there, that'll be a good way for us to easily tell people where it lives. And that's all I've got.
All I have is to echo how great our ward meeting was and thank the community for showing up. I think we had a really great discussion. We learned a lot of things too. So hopefully people walked away with good ideas for the next neighborhood participation grant. And then wanted to echo Councilor Nystrom's call for folks in the community to sign up to get involved in our boards and commissions. We've got some openings right now, including on the LAC, and would love to have lots of Ward 3 representation. Let's outshine people like we did on National Night Out.
Ward 2.
Thank you. I too have gratefulness for a ward meeting this time. We hosted our last ward meeting at Mint and Seraph, still a relatively new location for them, and it was fantastic. We ended up with more people than we had originally expected. We saw a lot of new faces, I think, because the Mint and Seraph is really such a community staple that people feel and seem to feel very welcome to be there and to give us your opinions about things. And so Councilor Cruz and I know we're really grateful for those of you that showed up, grateful to Mint and Seraph for providing that space for free. Just knowing that community gathering and community spaces is important, and that's a value of that businesses. Our next one, we are still finalizing our location, though very likely to be at Mint and Seraph again, also possibly in the O'Kane Park neighborhood. I will shout out again, if you have a specific place in your area of Lakewood that you want us to be hosting community events in, we would love to hear about it. We want to make sure that we are coming to where you are anywhere in the city. And ward meetings are a really easy way for us to do that. And we will be specifically talking with County Clerk Amanda Gonzalez at our next meeting, which is on September 21st. And we will be talking about the upcoming election and ensuring that you have what you need to access your vote. So how to update your voter registration, what the timelines on voting are, those kinds of issues. So you're just very aware with how our safe and secure democracy in Jefferson County operates, and you are well able to be well informed. On a similar note, I will say every election season I share that my very most fundamental value while in public service, and honestly just in general as a citizen of these United States of America, is democracy and having a well-informed electorate. And so I will be finding opportunities to host one-off events that are just focused on walking people through what's on the ballot, where I'm doing my best to keep my own personal opinion fully out of it, but just as a way to explain for folks what do these offices do, who are the groups that are in favor or against these ballot measures, so that you can make a choice for yourself about who you are aligned with, recognizing that this fall we are going to have the thickest, longest ballot in Colorado state history. So I also say that as a signal to all of you other elected officials and the few folks remaining in the audience that it's going to be a very hard ballot. If you are the person in your friend group who already gets those questions, you will be getting more of them this year than usual. So we can all be academically and emotionally prepared for that. And then very lastly, I wanted to say that the Colfax Safety Project had another open house, which I know we flagged before it happened. Councilor Cruz and I were both in attendance, a handful of other people. I think this is a project that has been underway, doing public engagement for years at this point, and people seem to be relatively well informed. But of course, once we break ground, I'm sure we'll discover that lots of people didn't actually have all the information they needed. So we're doing our best to make sure that the word is out. And it is looking that like the first part of construction may break ground as early as 2 months from now. In the medians is where that will start. And they are doing their best to coordinate with the projects happening along 14th, to have conversations across the city lines into Denver. But of course, those types of coordinations are difficult. There's many moving parts, and so inherently can be flawed. So I definitely commend the folks we're working with and the staff at the city of Lakewood who are working to make sure that we will have relatively smooth traffic interruptions when they happen and that they will be coordinated, but that recognizing that it's going to be an ongoing process that will eventually lead to a more beautiful, walkable, livable, climate resilient, and less deadly stretch of Colfax. And with that, I will send it to Councilor Cruz.
Thank you. So I'll start with just a couple of events and updates, and then just want to speak to a couple of things that came up in public comment today. So in the theme of Ward 2 being the best part of Lakewood, which I get to say because that's what I was elected to say, and I truly believe in my heart, we have so many cool events coming up. So in our amazing 40 West Arts District, the International Heritage Festival will be hosted on September 7th from 12 to 6 p.m. at the 40 West Hub on Colfax. So that's going to feature art, music, so many types of things from cultures from around the world. And I think it's really special that we get to host that in our community to both amplify and add to the diversity of the experiences that our residents get to experience. Additionally, the American Indian Festival will once again be hosted in Lakewood at the Lakewood United Methodist Church on September 28th and 29th. So mark your calendars for some great events. Also, I know we didn't talk about it a lot on the consent agenda because we passed so many great things so easily today, but a lot of the pieces from the Public Works Department were about paving the way towards Two Creeks Park, which is such an important asset that is hopefully, after many years, coming to our community slowly but surely, intergovernmental agreement by intergovernmental agreement. So just want to thank the staff and the community members who have made it to this point and will continue, I'm sure, on a long journey to making this park a reality. Regarding some of the things that came up in public comment, I do want to thank the folks from the CETUS group and from Zephyr Street for coming to speak to some concerns that I know that they've been raising for myself and at points in time my co-counselor as well. That's not only my district, but it's literally my neighborhood. And I bike on the bike path every day. So these are themes that I'm very intimately aware of, and I know that many staff are. And so to our police department, to the folks working in housing navigation, to Recovery Works, who I already know has been working to outreach to folks in that area, I want to thank you for your efforts and know that this is a problem that needs to continue to be solved in a way that is going to make an impact for all residents towards a safer and more dignified future. And so that's something that I'm committed to as a neighbor in that area and look forward to continuing to work on with all of you. And I do, just on a personal note, want to thank the folks who came to continue to speak to the horrors that are happening, yes, halfway across the world, but I know is very present for me as a person in the world of what is happening in Gaza. I can only think about the lives that have been lost and all of the times that they have come to us, and it breaks my heart that there are that many more families that won't have that person in their lives, that building that they grew up at, that university that their families went to. And so thank you for keeping that present for us because it is connected to us, and thank you for your advocacy on that. So that is where I will end my comments.
Ward 1.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to highlight last night's annual picnic by the Mid-Lakewood Civic Association, congratulate the board members that put on just a very successful event at Meadowlark Park. And it was very well attended. The food was very good. It was beautiful weather. Kids had a lot of fun with face painting, drawing on the street with chalk, and bouncy houses, and it was just so well done. So thanks again to the Civic Association board members and officers that put on a very successful event and worked very hard for that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Couple of updates. So last night, in regards to the Vivian Elementary property at the advisory group meeting, it was discussed that there are some folks interested in purchasing the property and have put in a pre-qualification application. And through tireless work with city staff, so I just want to commend them on this, anybody who's going to move to the formal application process will have to include the path for Lakewood to acquire 3 acres of property. So this is a major win for us. We know that there's a dearth of open space and parks in the north side of Lakewood, something that the community up there has worked really hard on. So really excited to see that. This will still be something that we'll need to purchase, and those conversations continue, but we know that there's a shared value both from the schools and from the city, and making sure that that investment exists. I also wanted to talk a little bit, there was a couple of comments on Lakewood Speaks about the Point Athletic Club property on 5th and Van Gordon. If you have been watching City Council for many years, you know that this property is fraught with disaster, and a lot of that was at the hands of former city councilors who continued to vote down some housing that was going in there over and over again. So disappointing, but there's a new council, and it is my understanding in the last update that I received that this property has folks that have purchased it, and they have put in a pre-planning application, which is stalled a little bit right now because I think that they're working through some issues with accessing all that they need to move that property forward. But this is a conversation that's continuing, and so I know that it is frustrating and it looks like nothing's happening, but I do feel confident that we'll see some sort of page turn on this property in the near future. And that's it for me.
All right. And I will bring it home. I want to speak for a few minutes about the month of August, the month of getting out and getting together. While weather is still beautiful in Colorado and maybe a little stormy at night, but for the most part, it is the perfect month for driveway gatherings and fill in the blank, a lot of different options. I had the opportunity to attend a community event and wanted to give a huge shout out to our Southern Gables neighborhood, who is in Ward 5, and Green Gables Elementary School, who for years have partnered to put together an event that brings together both the school and the surrounding neighborhood, including businesses that are also in the area. So thank you to Southern Gables and Green Gables for doing all the work that you do to bring neighbors together. For those that are interested in doing an activity such as that, we do still have grant money that is available for, home associations. You just honestly be a neighbor, do a party, fill out for a grant application. There is still money available. If you go on and Google Lakewood Get Together Grants, it should take you directly or close to directly to that website. You can also email, oh shoot, I lost it now. You can email, I think, neighborhoods@lakewood.org, or why don't you just email wstrom@lakewood.org. I'll get you the right email address. But grants are available anywhere from $100 to $500 to help offset the cost of some of these community gatherings. So we do still have time this year. And coming up in September, also wanted to put on everybody's radar for those that want to get out and, do the work of the community. Conversation mention was made earlier this evening about running for city council or the Lakewood Advisory Commission. There are a lot of ways to get involved within our community and to try to really work forward to making Lakewood better in a number of ways. And everybody's ways are a little bit different. One of the opportunities that we have coming up next month that we can do that is through Love Lakewood Day. And that will be going on September 21st. It's a Saturday. I would encourage you to look at the website. It's surfspotlakewood.com. And there are a number of different projects out there. So if picking up trash is something that you enjoy outside of just the Colfax Marathon cleanup, or painting houses, or you name it, there's a lot of different opportunities to get out, to meet other Lakewood neighbors, and to help make our community better. So that's Love Lakewood Day on September 21st. And then separately, this is a new one for Lakewood. If you've not heard yet of an organization called Longer Tables, it's an organization that really works to bring together community and create spaces where we get together and talk, not as, I'm this career professional, or I'm that politician, or you name it. It's, you show up, you have very candid conversations. Maybe you don't even know each other's names, you don't know where you live, and you don't know what you do. But it's an opportunity to just really learn more about the humanity that's around us. Longer Tables does events, and they've been doing a number of events across Denver. We have not yet had the opportunity to host one in Lakewood. I am hopeful that that is in our future. But in the meantime, they're offering a way for us Lakewood residents to get involved in more of a micro program that helps us create these longer tables. And to learn more information, you can go to tabletogether.org. There's a formal, it's not formal. It's an organized event that is coming up on Saturday. That's not a Saturday. This one's not a Saturday. It's September 25th. And you can sign up to be a host on tabletogether.org. There's a bundle of things that you get with that, including a little bit of guidance on how to, facilitate or run the evening, or just do what you want, whether it's in your front yard, your driveway, or your dining room. It's one way for us as a coordinated effort to work to, again, bring together residents. And you guys have heard it from me before. We make friends. We come up with people that are options to help sit our dog on occasions, or text us when we see something that might be a little concerning at night. There are a lot of benefits to meeting the neighbors around us. So I would encourage you, whether it be through Surf Spot Lakewood or the Lakewood Get Together grants or Table Together, this is a really good opportunity for us before we get inside and shelter up for the winter. We've got a few weeks to get all of this done. So with that, I will go ahead and adjourn our meeting this evening at 8:23. Thank you, everybody.